If you're thinking or planning on starting a minoxidil beard journey anytime soon, then there's 3 things that I think you need to consider before doing so. So stay tuned, because in this video we're going to go through what you should be thinking about before starting your minoxidil beard journey.
All these rappers faking, I tell them tuck your chain in, cause when my youngest came in, I swear they had them skating.
Hi there guys, Adam from The Beard Solution here, back with another video. So let's just jump straight into the top 3 things that I think you need to consider before starting your minoxidil beard journey. And the first of which being, why do you actually really want a beard? What is it about a beard that you think is going to fulfill you in some way? So is it because you might think that it'll make you look older or more mature or more masculine? Or maybe it's a particular style that you really like the look of, that you think would really suit you and that you've really wanted to have for years but have been unable to because of how patchy your facial hair's grown in, or if not grown in at all. And whatever the reason is, because really that's personal and that's up to you. It's just got to be something that's actually going to drive you all the way through your journey, because this could take potentially up to 2 years, and for some people maybe longer, and for some people obviously shorter as well, but potentially 2 years I'd say on average. So is that reason that you have now, is that going to drive you all the way through to the end of your journey? Because we know we have to get the hairs to terminal, you know, before we stop, otherwise we risk losing the things that we gain. So generally speaking, the vellus or transitional, and again, not always, but most of the time those are the hairs that are going to fall out, right? So you've got to think whether that's actually going to drive you all the way through to the end, and whether it's going to keep you going. Because I know when I got to around about 18 months to the 2 year mark, all that was going through my head is I never want to apply this stuff to my face ever again. Like, it was just to a point where I was like, I'm so sick of applying this. And you know, whilst it does become part of a routine, you know, it does take a bit of time for it to get quite normalized. Then again, it does get a bit monotonous after a while, so it's not like a fun thing to do or anything like that, so bear that in mind. Is it going to kind of push you through all of those times where you're actually like, I really just can't be bothered to apply it to my face? Because in some ways it's kind of like, although I'm not a very good example of this, kind of forcing yourself to go to the gym, right? When you know that it's the bit you need to do it, but it's not always the thing that's like going to be the most enjoyable thing at that moment. But you might enjoy the end product out of all of that hard work, right? So just bear that all in mind. I'd say the next thing to consider is actually whether you can afford it or not. Now, minoxidil's particularly inexpensive nowadays, especially if you buy the generic brands online, and that's what I would usually advocate for, just finding the cheapest version of the 5% and buying yourself a supply of that. Now, I have seen a number of people comment in my comment section saying, you know, I can only afford to buy a 1 month supply and I won't be able to afford another month's supply for a few months. What should I do? My recommendation in any case like that is there's not really much point you starting minoxidil if you're only ever going to be able to buy like 1 bottle and then just not be able to buy any more and have to start your journey again in 6 months' time with 1 bottle and then not be able to really make any progress. So you need to be able to really find that this is financially viable for you, and that will really depend on where you are in the world, how much minoxidil kind of costs, your standard living costs around that kind of area. Now for me personally, I have a pretty good job, so I was quite fortunate. I never really had to worry too much about how much I spent on my minoxidil journey, so buying minoxidil was never a huge concern for me because I thought it was relatively quite cheap. But bear in mind that that's not the case for everyone, right? So if you're going to struggle to afford it and you don't think you're going to be able to pay for it consistently, that might be another thing to consider, because you know, if you end up quitting after 3 months and all you've gained is some vellus and you stop and you lose them all, you've kind of wasted that time you've invested and also the money you've invested as well. The last thing, and I think one of the more important things, is how well read are you on the subject? How much do you actually know about the minoxidil journey? Because if the answer to that is not very much, well, I do actually have a FAQ video that I will put up as a card, but really you need to make sure you know as much as you possibly can before jumping into anything like this, because you know, it is a drug that you're applying to your face. There are side effects, some of which seem a bit kind of obscure, so like scalp shedding. Like, how could the hair on my head shed? So you're not going to lose it all, right? But shed when I'm applying this stuff to my face. Well, those are the kinds of things that you need to know before jumping in, because there are some side effects that when they occur, if you're well informed about them, they're not too much to worry about. But if you're not, they can kind of panic you quite a bit, and they might even put you off your journey altogether when you didn't necessarily need to. But you also need to be happy with the kind of potential side effects that you could experience. Obviously, some people don't experience any side effects at all, but people are going to experience side effects to a different degree, and you need to kind of weigh up whether you think that there's a good trade-off there for you, where you think, I don't mind some of these side effects if it means I'm going to get my beard out the end of it. And also, you know, just understanding how to correctly apply and other kind of elements to the journey, I think is fundamental in order to ensure kind of your prolonged consistency and success as well. Now, a little bonus thing here for you, I guess is more of a tip, and I'm going to do a tips video soon, so this might come up again, is to document. Take pictures whilst you're before you start your journey, whilst you're on your journey. You know, I'd say every month at the very least, then you should be taking some photos to be able to track your progress. And that's what I obviously set this YouTube channel up for, and it's been great now to be able to look back at what my beard looked like before and what it looks like now, and it's completely different, and that's amazing to be able to see that gradual progression. And so you should have that kind of stuff for yourself, because it can really help remotivate you at times where you're perhaps not feeling great about your beard, but when you look at how it looks now compared to what it looked like 3 months before perhaps, it can actually instill quite a lot of positive feelings, and that's, you know, quite important. So a little bit of a bonus tip there for you. But guys, thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I'm going to try and be a bit more active on this channel again, and so please do make sure that you add any suggestions for videos you'd like to see below in the comment section, and also any questions that you might have as well. Please, if you did enjoy the video, then hit that like button, and also subscribe if you want more videos like these. I've been Adam at The Beard Solution, and I'll see you guys again next time.
Rate me 'cause I ain't got a blue tick, but I got one on the top that gave me.
I don't even know what's real.